All right, next let's talk about the Detroit Lions. I think this all offseason we've talked about a lot of the new young rookie talent that's been added to this team. We've talked about players that are already existing on this team that are doing really well. But I think there's a free agent who really has come into this Lions unit and started to show out and started to get noticed by players and coaches. Let's get into the article, and then we can talk more about this player on the other side. This, of course, from over on SI.com. It says, there just isn't as much mystery surrounding the Detroit Lions as there has been in previous off seasons. But heading into training camp, no one really knows what to expect from the edge rushing spot opposite Aiden Hutchinson. The Lions have been trying to find the right piece to plug into that spot, but have yet to find a steady solution. Then there's Marcus Davenport, who has yet to practice this offseason but appears to have a chance as any of the aforementioned names to win the starting job. Even without the practice time, the Lions feel as if they have a good grasp on what they're getting in the 6'6", 265-pounder. That's because Coach Dan Campbell and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn were both in New Orleans when the franchise traded up to select Davenport in the first round of the 2018 draft. Very confident, Glenn said. I know that player. I know what he brings to the table. He's a big man. He's a man that can rush. He's a man that's very violent. The way that we want to play, man, I am excited to really see that player get on the field. Nick, I think these are some very, very nice words by Aaron Glenn. I would be excited about the things he is saying about Davenport if I was a Saints fan. But I want to hear from you before we get there. Lions fans, in the comment section below. Let us know who has been your favorite Lions defensive lineman throughout history. I think you look at the words that Aaron Glenn has said, talks about the violence, the ability to rush the passer. There's so many guys that are like that on the Detroit defensive line. But let us know who has been your favorite throughout history in the comment section below. And while you're down there, check out the description below the video to check out our list of recommended reading NFL books. There's some great coaching autobiographies. There's great books that break down the game of football. So check those books down in the description below the video if you want to be the smartest guy in the comment section. But Nick, what are your thoughts on the addition of Davenport?
So look, it's not just Glenn saying good things. Defensive line coach Terrell Williams had this to say. He's a big, long, athletic guy with a lot of position flexibility. He has a history of playing very, very physical in this league. We've got two really big defensive ends with him and Hutch. Two long, athletic dudes. That's really what we're expecting from him, is to play how he looks, and we're excited about that. And like the article mentioned, the real problem the Lions have on defensively right now, after wholesaling addressing the secondary, which should mean it should be better than it was last year. It almost can't be too much worse. They've made a lot of great moves on that front, but with veterans and young guys. But the defensive edge player opposite of Aiden Hutchinson was clearly a problem at times last season. I think a lot of ways it really hamstrung what this defense was trying to do. I love Kaminsky's effort to death, but he never really was anything quality enough of being an every down player or even a situational pass rush guy. And I think that's where the Lions really struggled. And this Davenport addition, it kind of fell under the radar a little bit, but if you just look at the raw data, you can see why the Lions coaches are so excited about this new addition, right? So we have a chart here. Let's go ahead and pull it up, Miles, if you don't mind, of the PFF pass rush grade. So on the left side of it there, you see Josh Paschal and John Kaminsky from last season. Those are their pass rush grades. Paschal with 53.7 pass rush grade, Kaminsky 51.8. Not good at all. Over there on the right side, you have Marcus Davenport's worst pass rushing grade year, 63.6, and his best year, 88.2. So you can see just the massive discrepancy there. If the Lions get out of Davenport, literally the worst year of his career, it's a massive boost, 10 plus points over Kaminsky and Paschal. If they get the best out of Marcus Davenport, which there's a chance he will because Hutchinson's going to get a lot of attention, then you're looking at a guy that's an 88.2 pass rush grade. That's Pro Bowl level stuff right there. 80s is Pro Bowl stuff, traditionally according to PFF. So this is a really great move here by the Lions that kind of fell under the radar. And you can see why the Lions coaches are so excited, even if he hasn't practiced yet, because they love his length and his size. They probably wanted to see him come in, do some drills, do some rehab, things like that, to see, okay, how's he taking care of his body? You know, how does he look like he's in shape? Does he have the right muscle mass, or did he just get really flabby? Does it look like he's at the end of his career? It's clearly not the case. The Lions coaches are really impressed with what he's showing so far. And I think Detroit fans, you have to be really excited because this was kind of the the one lingering question was the edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and it looks like Davenport, if you believe the Lions coaches, is the perfect guy for that job.
Yeah, Nick, and I think you look at this Lions team, you look across the front of this defense. They've really done a great job of beefing up this defensive front. I think you can see DJ Reader. This guy is going to add so much to the middle of the field for the Lions as far as the defensive line goes. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson is probably one of the better players that Davenport has ever played with across from him on the edge as well. I just think this team is set up for Davenport, like you said. Even at his worst, he's a major upgrade over previous guys that played opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. But I think this is clearly a year he could be set up to have one of his absolute best years because the way the Lions constructed this defense and really have beefed up the middle of this defensive line. I think they are looking at an absolute monster of a front this coming season.